Welcome to Family Meeting, the podcast where we get shit done. I'm tired Andrew.
And I'm tired Jesse.
It's been a while
Been a while.
since we last recorded.
I know, it's been so long. I don't even know what
What was
the
it?
date
So
was.
today's the 28th.
The 7th.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we missed 2 weeks in
11 days.
between.
Nope.
2 episodes in between.
Yeah, 2 episodes. Yeah.
But yeah, well, part of it was, and we'll talk about it today, but we went out of town to Vegas.
Yeah, we went to
Which
Vegas.
Which was a lot of fun. And then I got the flu.
Yeah, so one weekend we were in Vegas having a great time, and then next weekend Andrew was miserable.
Yeah.
With the flu.
With the flu and a gum infection.
Gingivitis.
Yeah, gingivitis.
It's so gross.
It's the worst. So brush your teeth, floss, use mouthwash, all that stuff. We'll talk about it another time, but just that's why. That's why.
Okay.
That's all. That's all. That's
So
why.
we're back in it. We're both tired.
We're
It's
tired.
the end of the day on Sunday. Like normally we do this in the morning, but we were just not feeling it this morning. Or I
Ooh.
guess I wasn't. But we're
I
gonna
know.
do it.
I know.
Back in 2 weeks. Juice will be so excited. He's been missing the episode.
Yeah, so Juicy. I hope you enjoy this.
This episode's for you.
Yeah, it's all.
So yeah. So and he will actually really like this episode.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Okay, so this episode is about Vegas because this week we were in Vegas for the first week. And that's why we missed that.
Yeah.
So just wanted to talk about Vegas and what Vegas is to us and what we do in Vegas.
And say, well, because one, like Vegas, I think more than anyone that I've known personally, especially anyone I've ever dated, means a lot to you and your family.
Yeah.
In a cute way.
Yeah.
And then I feel like because of that, it's come to mean a lot to us. And not like that typical kind of.
Yeah. So let's start out by saying we don't do Vegas like you see in the movies. Like, we don't do the Bachelorette
Although strip clubs and stuff.
A bachelorette party in Vegas, but it wasn't we don't go to the clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really go to the strip clubs. We don't, do the bar hops or anything like that. It's pretty low key.
We do old person Vegas.
We do old person Vegas.
It is. It's so cute.
It's really nice.
Chilling at the slot machines. Also, gambling gives me a lot of anxiety. So it's hard for me to stay in it for a while. The moment I'm up $20, I want to quit because I'm so scared of losing it. But then kind of enticed by the idea of getting more. So it's just scary to me. You're much better at it. But yeah, I mean, so I guess maybe we'll go back through and kind of talk about some of our favorite Vegas moments together.
Well, first I want to talk about our first experience in Vegas.
Okay, yeah.
So what was your? I don't think I know. I mean, maybe I know this, but what was your first experience in Vegas?
It was with you.
Really?
I had never been to Las Vegas before.
I thought it had been when you were a kid.
No, my parents went when I was a kid, and they left me with my aunt, and my grandma, and they brought me back. Not Mad Max. There was this game. It was a video game for the Super Nintendo. That's literally what I remember.
So your first time in Vegas was with me and my parents, or was it when we went to Buffett? Okay,
so I think it was with you and your parents.
Okay.
I want to say, though, I get the first 2 times conflated. I flip Buffett in that one sometimes, because the first Buffett trip, we didn't do much outside of the Buffett stuff. So, So anyway, so I let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the first time was just me and you, because I feel the Buffett stuff is its own category anyway. So that was it. That was my first time in Las Vegas.
When we saw Penn and Teller.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm a grown man. I still hadn't been to Vegas.
That's
I was 23 or something.
Yeah. That's so funny. So I don't really. My first time in Vegas. Okay, so there's this little town outside of Las Vegas called Primm, and I think it's Primm.
It is.
And it's still technically part of Las Vegas, I think. And so I used to compete in pageants there all the time.
Oh, that's right.
So that was my first
I always forget this
memory of Vegas. And now it's all built up. There's a outlet stores and food and all this stuff.
A roller coaster.
Well, that's always been there. But when we went back when I was legit I was like 5. There was legit just 3 hotels. Like the freeway went right down the middle, and there's 2 hotels on one side, 1 hotel on the other, and a little tram that took you across the freeway. Like there was nothing.
That's so crazy.
But that it was this cute little. Now it's I don't know.
It's like a stop. It's like a destination right now.
There also used to be like a huge Ferris wheel. Is that still there? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
But there used to be a huge Ferris wheel, and that was pretty cool. I remember riding on that with my grandpa when I was really little.
Seems safe.
Yeah, but then my first memory of like Vegas, like the Strip Vegas, was one of my birthdays. I think I was either like 14, 15, or 16. I think either 14 or 15 because my 16th birthday I did something different. My mom took me to Vegas to see Celine Dion.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
And I remember walking through the casino and like I was so excited, like the night of the show, like it was like warm weather, so I was dressed all cute, in like a dress or a skirt or whatever. And I remember walking, and when you're a minor, you kind of have to stay on like the like designated like paths. You can't really go off into the casino area. So I remember like walking down that and like tables being on either side and the guys at the table watching me walk. And I remember that, like seeing them watch me or look at me. And then I remember my mom, like a little while after that, like saying like that was funny to her because from far away, they were like looking at me like, oh yeah, I might go talk to her. And then once I got closer, they realized, no, she's like 12. Like, I can't do this. But yeah, and then we saw Celine Dion and all that stuff. So like that
cool.
was like my first like Vegas like memory.
Yeah. So you've had plenty of
I cannot count the number of times that I've been to Vegas.
That's so crazy in a cool way, but it's still like so crazy to me. Juicy, who would love this episode. He lived in Vegas for a couple of years for school. Yeah. And so I was a total Vegas virgin for the longest time. And I always wanted to go.
I always go with my family. Like we always have, at least for you, we always have a reason to go with or be with family. Even this last trip, we went for the Weezer concert that was so good that we'll talk about later. But we stayed with my cousin.
Right, who lives right outside of, which you'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so yeah, my first time was with you. Should we talk about that time?
Sure.
So and this is why I think it was my first time, because I feel like the first time, you always overdo it a little bit.
That's true.
But we overdid it in the dumbest way, where we stayed at the Flamingo, which is like I like it a lot. Yeah. I mean, I'm not as well versed as other people in Vegas who like stay like Cosmopolitan or Aria or some shit.
Like my mom got us like hooked on the like Total Rewards.
Oh, that's
like,
true.
Caesar. I forget what like the actual name is, like Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar's something.
Caesar Entertainment. I think. So we stay at the like Caesar hotels. We never stay at Caesar, but the Flamingo is one of them, and then Bally's is like right next door.
Caesar's ugly stepchildren of hotels or whatever. And so I prefer Flamingo over at least that Bally's, the other place. And I forget, it was like the second day we were there, and like we decided, okay, let's go chill by the pool. And of course, while we're there, we're like, oh, let's drink. And so we get like a bucket of Coronas. Yeah, it was a bucket of Coronas, which was like,
because that was the cheapest way that we were both going to drink.
Yeah, it was like $20 or something for like 6 Coronas or $25. It wasn't bad for Vegas prices. And then we're like, all right, well, let's continue this party. So we got like mixed drinks from the bartender, but it was like one of those drinks, and I don't know if it was like an adios motherfucker or like it was something crazy where it was like a splash of juice and then like different kinds of alcohol, to where it just tasted like juice. Like it didn't taste like alcohol at all, which fooled us. And like we made friends with like this lady next to us, and we just
don't say lady, because that's like misleading. She was not like a lady. She was like some like old cougar.
She wasn't that old.
She was old.
She was probably like in her 50s.
No, she was older than that.
Oh, well, drunk me was like, hey, look at this lady in her 50s.
And like she was talking and drinking with us, and
and before we knew, we were like blackout drunk. We were
Okay, I was not blackout drunk.
You were
I
black.
made it home. Andrew.
Well, when like we were trying to like we should go, let's go. Like we wanted to like we weren't feeling great, and so we were like leaving, said bye, and on the way out, some dude like stepped on my flip flop and broke it, and I got like angry. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I just like kept walking through, and like the flamingo
But
staff.
you had your towel.
Yeah, and I was saying the flamingo staff stopped me, like, sir, come back here. You're taking the towels. I was like, what? And they're like, no, you have to return them. They got like mad at me. So I tried to steal their towels on accident. And the only way I could get back to the room was by like finding the nearest wall and putting my hands on it and like crawling across it because I didn't want to fall over. Because you have to go through a lot to get even just back inside the casino. You have to go through like the flamingo area and shit. It's like a trek to get back to the room.
So I don't remember that part.
I remember that part vividly. Like, so I just remember like thinking this is dumb.
Was I just walking?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I was like, also my flip flop was like
Yeah.
broken, so I'm just like, I'm gonna follow. Like nothing's working for me. And then when we got back to the room, and this is the part that is the funniest to me. I like went into the bedroom area. You went straight for the restroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check on her. I all of a sudden like maybe it was 20 seconds. I don't even know. I get back in and you're like fully naked, like against the toilet, like hugging it. And I just thought that was like the craziest quick, like, it's not quick change. You just like shed everything and we're just like there already. And you're doing much better than I was because we both thought the great like solution would be to make yourself throw up and you'll feel better. And I think that worked for you. But I mean, I was so wasted that I couldn't activate my gag reflex and I was just jamming my fingers down my throat and visibly being like, this is fine. This sucks. Like I couldn't do it. Like it felt fine. And then we missed like dinner time.
So like that's like 2:00 or 3:00.
Yeah,
like that was our 2 or 3 o'clock.
Because we got to the pool like at 10 that morning.
We took a nap and I was like trying to like recover, like really trying to rally. And finally, like around like 4, I like had to text my mom and be like, yeah, we're not coming to dinner. It's not happening. We're not coming to dinner. And that was pretty funny because I remember my dad being like, oh yeah, so you must have just swallowed too much pool water.
Yeah, that was cute.
You just all the pool water. Like,
I'm so happy you have parents who understand.
Definitely the pool water.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to leave the next day, and we were hungover.
That's right.
We decided not to leave. We left on Monday, but then we ended up being able to go see Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller, and that was cool. So like that first day was a shit show. It was a lot of fun and a great like to me like just a fun memory. Yeah, the first full day. But yeah, Penn and Teller, that was. I was actually thinking about it not because of this episode today, just like it popped in my head. I'm like, yeah, that was a fun.
That was such a good show.
So
I would love to see it again because I think they like change it up a little bit.
I'd hope so. I think they have like a 10-year contract or something. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. And so that was, I think that was my first time in Las Vegas. You really wanted to go and your mom was like, let's go. Like they went to make a non-Buffett trip and it just worked out.
And my dad went and my dad never goes to Vegas.
I know. And
so, like, that was the big deal was that like getting my dad to Vegas was like a thing.
And it was still earlier on in our relationship. So I felt like they were still getting to know me.
That's true. They hadn't seen you that much.
No, not really. I don't think so. A few times. I think we'd been to Sacramento a couple times, but yeah, so that was kind of my an early impression. I'm happy they didn't
write you off.
Like, get rid of that guy.
That's funny.
But yeah, so that was an that's just a little indication of how we party in Las Vegas.
Yep. And I think the majority of the time we go to Vegas, we go in October for the Jimmy Buffett concert.
Yeah,
with my family.
Something
with my like whole family, like not whole family, but like
a majority. Yeah,
I mean, there's like a huge group of us if you count like
multiple cousins. And then Steve will bring friends. Yeah, so it's like a group of like 10 or 12 people, and the kids sometimes come too and whatnot. Which is something like before I met, if someone was like, "You want to go see Jimmy Buffett?" I would have never considered it, but because it was kind of built into the relationship, I'm like, "Of course I'll go. It'll be fun." And I'm always sad every year that we don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like an annual thing.
I know we're not going this year.
Yeah.
No one could swing it.
It's
That's
fine,
okay.
but no, but yeah. So that's what we do. We go see him like at the MGM Grand, I think.
Yep.
And beforehand, we'll always like party
Mhm.
super hard by the pool, quiet, and yeah, I don't know. So I think that I like that part a lot.
Yeah.
I always enjoy going to Vegas or going to Buffett with your family.
Well, we're a fun crowd.
You are a fun crowd. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what else you want to say about that. I mean, I know you guys have a lot of history with that part. I mean, just Jimmy Buffett in
Yeah,
general to your
well-
family is a lot.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. We have a great time. We get like crazy dressed up, and it's not like
1 second. Sorry about that.